Welcome to PMP Educator Project Integration Management Series. This is lecture number 5, and this is the last lecture in this series. I will go through the last process in the integration management, which is the close project or phase. It is in the closure phase, and the key deliverable is the final product. So basically, when you go through all your phases from initiation to planning, execution, monitoring, and control, you finally have the final product, and you are in the final phase of your project life cycle, which is the closure phase, and you go through the close project or phase process to sign off, and basically that's the end of your project life cycle, and eventually you have the final product given to the customer or given to your client. So this process, close project or phase process, is basically you can have this process employed while you are at the end of the project, or it can also be used at the end of each phase. Remember, we mentioned that from one phase to another phase, we have a kill point or the phase gate. So we don't move from one phase to another phase before we are sure that all the deliverables or all the requirements for that phase is done. So this process can be used in the closed project phase, the closed project or the phase process. Basically, it's used at the end of the project and also can be used at the end of a phase. The input for this process, the inputs for this process are project management plan, acceptable deliverables, and organization process assets. Remember, there is no enterprise environmental factor as input. Tools and techniques used for this process is per judgment, and the output of this process outputs of this process are final product, service, or result transition, and the organization process asset updates. So basically, the key inputs are project management plan and the acceptable deliverables. So after your monitoring and execution phase, you have several change requests, and then those change requests were incorporated in the deliverable. You finally have the acceptable deliverable, which is according to the scope of the project, and the customer or the client has accepted that deliverable. So you have the deliverable as input for this process. You use your expert judgment, and finally you have sign off the final product or the service. And in this phase, the important thing is that you document everything, the lesson learned and all the information related to the project, and put it in your organization process asset, and update it, which is used or which will be used in the next projects within your organization, and it will help the next project and the project manager for those projects to go through the projects, because the information you have will be a key resource for them for the similar projects. So basically, the input for this is also organization process asset, but consider that the output is actually the updated organization process assets. So you have updates for the existing organization process assets of your organization. So a lesson learned when you go through your project for the whole life cycle, you have learned several lessons while going through the execution of your project, and at the end of each phase of a project, a lesson learned document is prepared. The lesson learned document documents what was done right, wrong, etc., and it becomes the part of organization process assets and used in the next phase or project. And that's it. With this process, you eventually have the end of the project, and your customers have the deliverable or the result or the service, and you finally close your project. And that's all I have for this lecture series. We will go through different knowledge areas in the next lecture series, and I hope you will visit the site and get the next lectures. Thank you very much.